Mark is building or has built a new platform that helps people do online sports betting, as well as certain other things. I'll let you do the explaining yourself, Mark.
Cool. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks so much, Howard. So let me share my screen here so I can help get into more of the nuts and bolts. Yeah, so ZenSports has built a decentralized peer-to-peer sports betting network that heavily uses cryptocurrencies to streamline the entire betting process. And I think one of the really cool things about what we're doing is how we are getting rid of a lot of the centralized middlemen that exist within not only sports betting but also in the fintech world, which is pretty cool. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what we're doing at ZenSports and how we're streamlining all of these things within sports betting and fintech. So first things first. So sports betting is just this massive market worldwide. There's 120 billion dollars in revenue generated every year in sports betting. And for those of you that are in the United States, you've probably seen the proliferation of how quickly it's getting legalized here. About 2.5 years ago, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down what was known as PASPA, the federal ban on sports betting. And since that time, 25 states in the US have legalized sports betting. So half the country in the United States has legalized sports betting. And that's after the rest of the world has had legalized sports betting for decades. So sports betting and gambling and gaming in general is becoming significantly less taboo, just much like, of course, cryptocurrencies and blockchain are. So it's really an exciting time to be a part of this market as it just continues to rapidly evolve and go from being underground to being very mainstream and above ground. That being said, there's a lot of problems that exist within traditional sports betting. So those of you that have ever maybe placed a bet on sports, you have to bet with what is known as a bookmaker. So a bookmaker is who creates bets under their own brand, with their own liquidity and their own odds and their own terms. And the problems with traditional bookmakers are that they come with huge fees. Their tech is outdated. They've often got slow payments and transactions. There's no loyalty and rewards. And there's just this weird conflict of interest that comes about when, they're only making money when you, the customer, loses. There's lots of also payment issues that exist with traditional sports betting and gambling products in general. The first is that if you try to use a traditional debit or credit card, or ACH or wire transfer to fund a gambling account, oftentimes the bank or the financial institution that you bank with is going to decline that transaction because they don't want to deal in quote unquote high risk industries. Even if they do approve the transaction, it's going to come with high fees and long latencies or delays in getting your money in and getting your money out. And then on the operator side, there's a tremendous amount of chargeback fraud where customers may lose funds and then they go back and charge it back to their bank and get their money back. And you, as the operator, are stuck trying to deal with that dispute and retrieve funds that are legally yours. Well, cryptocurrencies gets rid of all that, right? There's no middleman or centralized institution saying yes or no, you can't transact for legalized gambling products. The fees are obviously significantly lower than traditional credit card, debit cards, or wire transfers. The settlement times are near instant, and there's no chargeback fraud or chargebacks because all transactions on the blockchain are immutable. So, how does this fit into what ZenSports is doing? So, ZenSports has built this really, really awesome mobile-first sports betting app for iOS, Android, and mobile web. We launched a couple years ago, and we are we are launched internationally and have been growing and scaling outside the US for the past couple of years, which I'll get into here in a second. But in a nutshell, our product solves for all these pain points that I just mentioned. So the first thing is we have a peer-to-peer marketplace where anybody can create and accept sports bets with anyone else without the need for a bookmaker. So think of our technology in the middle of bringing two sides of a bet together. This allows us to greatly or drastically reduce fees. Our product is mobile first, so you can bet anywhere on the go. We've created our own cryptocurrency token called Sports, which is used for both betting and wagering and earning rewards. And then we've also built out cryptocurrency payment APIs that allows customers to deposit funds and wager in Tether, Bitcoin, or ICX, which is the gas coin of Icon, which is the protocol that our sports token is built on. And it's a streamlined, decentralized system. So a maker creates a bet, a taker accepts the bet, and they're now in a betting contract in our platform. And it's decentralized in which I'll get to in a second, in the sense that the maker is actually the one who's responsible for submitting the results in the app. So I kind of touched on all these things. So peer-to-peer and mobile first. So it's a really clean, simple design. You can deposit funds instantly with just a couple taps of a button. That's a huge issue because in the gambling and betting world, getting your money in and getting your money out is a big pain point with customers. I mean, it's usually this long, arduous sign-up process and fiat transaction process that is difficult to get money in. And when you want to bet on something coming up, in the next few hours or even the next few minutes, you can't do that. Except in our platform, you can because we use crypto to streamline the entire process. Again, you can create any bet you want. You can easily find other people's bets and accept those bets as well. So our native cryptocurrency token called Sports, we launched that about a year and a half ago. So in addition to being able to wager using Bitcoin or Tether, stablecoin, you can also wager in sports tokens and you can earn sports tokens. So it's a cool, more gamified, fun solution for betting on sports than just depositing money with your credit card and betting with that. Yes, you can bet with dollars if you want using Tether, but you can also bet using our sports token, which is fun. And we even have a trading platform within our app that allows you to trade into and out of sports tokens as you so choose. I mentioned before that it's decentralized and transparent and more trustworthy. So again, the parties of the bet within the marketplace are the ones not only responsible for creating and accepting the bet, but also submitting the results. And we have a full penalty and reward system that ensures that all parties act in good faith at all times. And the other big part about this is there's a lot more transparency with our product because everyone can see what's going on at all times. It's more trustworthy because you're not going up against some big bad bookmaker. And so just in general, it's a more trustworthy, controllable experience, which customers love. So some of our traction that we've had since launching in March of 2019, we've had over 42,000 bets accepted on the platform. We've had over $36 million in cryptocurrency volume, betting volume process. And we're currently operating in 87 countries outside the United States right now. And we are moving quickly to get licensed in the United States and expand to the United States later this year. This just kind of goes over some of our betting volume by month. So you can see that we've been constantly growing that. Last month in January, we had our best month ever. We processed over $6.5 million in betting volume, again, in cryptocurrency. And then the revenue, same thing, did over 125K in revenue last month. We're working on expanding into the US. So we purchased a casino in Nevada last summer, which allows us to then apply to get our gaming license for our mobile app there. It's a huge market. Over 5.3 billion was wagered in Nevada last year, and there's limited competition. And we have sports betting and gaming applications in Nevada, Tennessee, and we're working on Colorado as well. We are raising a Series A. I'll kind of skip over that right now just to focus on the product and the company. We have a really awesome team that has handled developing all of our product, which is great. And we're really a continuous deployment operation here. I actually need to update this with Q1, but we release features basically every 2 weeks. We have a product updates page on our website that we log or chronicle all the features that we release every couple of weeks, and we're in constant continuous deployment methods here to make sure that we're always rolling out the latest and greatest features. And just a little bit more in detail how our decentralized betting system works. So makers come in and they can create any kind of sports bet that they want. And then takers will accept those bets. And then the maker is the one responsible for submitting results, and they have 24 hours to do so. Once they submit results, those results automatically get notified to the takers so they know who won or lost. And if for some reason the maker submits incorrect results or says that they won when they really didn't, the taker has the ability to dispute those results, and they have 24 hours to do so. And then we have a voting marketplace to vote on any disputes. But this actually never comes into play because there's a penalty if you lose the dispute. You can lose anywhere from 5 to 10% of your original bet, plus, of course, your original bet. And so this whole system acts as a deterrent. And I think that's one of the beautiful parts about this is that in over 32,000 bets accepted, we've had less than 0.1% of our bets result in a dispute. So that's pretty cool. So next revolution of sports betting. We love what we're working on. And we think we are proving out a first real world use case for cryptocurrencies that people are using every day.
That's great. Great, Mark. Mark, I'm curious, can you say a little bit about your priorities geographically? I mean, I know you're working on the US, but how would you rank the different markets?
So right now, as I mentioned, we're operating in 87 countries outside the US. Our predominant customer base is currently in Europe, especially within Eastern Europe, as well as Southeast Asia and Central America and Caribbean. So those are kind of our key focal points right now outside the US. And then, as I mentioned, as we get licensed in each state here in the US, then we will obviously enter those states. And in terms of our prioritization here in the US, there's a few factors that go into it. One is the cost and time to get into each state. We're kind of prioritizing the faster, cheaper states to begin with, and then we will be going to some of the more difficult, time-consuming, or expensive states after that.
So how much of a correlation is between where the customer is and where the actual sports event is? I mean, Eastern Europe and I mean, who are what are they betting on? You know, soccer matches in Europe, or what is it?
No, there's no correlation actually at all. So, I mean, we have people all over the world betting on NHL hockey games or Major League Baseball games. I think, when you look at the fact that almost all the major sports leagues now have streaming, live streaming. Of course, online you can get the scores and tap of a button going on ESPN or any other website. People can really keep up to date with what's going on in all of the top sports leagues around the world without being geographically near them. So no, it really doesn't impact at all where people are located. They're betting on all the major sports, whether they're American or soccer. We do have soccer. We offer esports. We offer MMA, golf, tennis. Pretty much every major sport we do offer for betting on, and people utilize regardless of their location.
Right. That's great. Very exciting. Well, that was a great presentation. I think we're out of time. And that was a great closeout to a great day. Thank you so much, Mark, for participating.
No, thanks for having me, Howard.
Right.